Yep. So I'm going to start off in Italian just because we have our people live streaming from Italy.
Where in Italy?
At the northern part, just about 45 minutes northwest of Venice.
Oh, nice. My mother's, her family are from Sicily.
Oh, okay.
Way down south.
Yeah. They're way up north. They're like in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be nice for them to chime in. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll let you know.
Okay, thanks. So I'm gonna go pee. Want to go pee? Okay, I'm gonna go. No, it's yeah, yeah. Huh? Yeah. No. Good afternoon, bonjour, buongiorno. Benvenuti alla famiglia dell'Italia e agli amici italiani che sono qui per celebrare Joe oggi. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate Joe's life, a man who touched countless hearts with his kindness, his passion for cars, and his unforgettable dance moves. Giuseppe, un uomo che ho toccato tanti di cuori, con la sua gentilezza, la sua passione per gli automobili e ballare. Whether you knew Joe as family, a friend, or a neighbor, your presence here today is a beautiful reflection of the love and connection he inspired in all of us. My name is Catherine, and I've had the pleasure of being close friends with Joe and Joanne for over 30 years. Mi chiama Catherine e sta un piacere di essere qua oggi con una cara amica di Joe e Joanne di più di 30 anni. Our story began on Christmas Day at the Banff Springs Hotel, where I was serving them brunch. My name tag had a French and Italian flag, which indicated I spoke both languages. And that sparked a multilingual conversation that lasted for hours. That evening, we met again for drinks, and from that moment on, the laughter, adventures, and cherished memories never stopped. Today, we'll hear stories and a poem from Joanne and Brandon, my son. So now, what I'd like to do is, oggi ascoltiamo le storie e le poesie da parte di Joanne e Brandon. I'd like to invite Brandon to share a few words and a poem. Over to you, Brandon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to start by reading a poem that was actually written by Carol and David Robertson here. And the title of the poem is Ode to Joe. Joe was a lad from Italy's shore who dreamed of life and something more. He crossed the sea, young heart so bold, and carved his path in mines of gold. Out west he toiled through grit and sand, with heavy gear and steady hand. A golden watch, cufflinks to match, and indigenous treasures told of this fond patch. In Fort McMurray, fate took flight. He met his love, his heart's delight, a French lady, Joanne, with grace and charm, who held him close through calm and storm. He was a giant, strong and tall, yet he held a tender soul to all. He danced, he laughed, he lived with zest, and food and music he loved best. Nature's peace, a dog's soft gaze, with Sophie they spent happy days. Through trials later, pain and strife, he leaned upon his faithful wife. For 44 sweet years they grew, with love that only few folks knew. Through every joy and every test, they met it all together blessed. And now dear Joe has passed away, but memories of him will always stay. We see him now in heaven's glow, still dancing gently, sweet and slow. We'll miss his smile, his warmth, his grace, the kindness shining from his face. Goodbye, dear Joe, your soul takes flight, into the stars, into the light. So that's the end of the poem there. Now I'd like to share some words, some memories that I have of Zio Joe as well. Just a few different memories that I've written down here. I have a distant memory of when I was younger. My family and I were traveling to Edmonton to go visit Joe and Joanne. And I still remember vividly seeing Zio Joe driving his John Deere in their fields and in their yard. I can just see him enjoying every moment and just steering the tractor peacefully and meticulously, never in a rush. And I remember just seeing him driving in the distance, trying to chase him around as well. Later on, whenever they had moved to Ottawa from Edmonton, there was this memory that I had with my sister, actually, where Zio Joe and my tante Joanne, they were camping at Rideau Heights. And at one point, we were driving back home, and we were able to drive in a big truck that he was driving. And at one point, we got to a traffic light, and there was a much smaller car next to us that was eyeballing him a little bit. And then he looked over at us. He didn't really say a word, but he just smiled. And remember, we flew by past him and smoked him. And so that was really awesome. In between patience, mindfulness, and being in the present, I can learn a lot from Zio Joe as he enjoyed everything he did. And there was never really a sense of urgency in what he did, and he was never really in a rush. And he was able to enjoy and be in the present moment. And again, yeah, everything was done with the maximum enjoyment, and his patience was very inspiring to me, actually. When I could, I would always try and see if there were any stories that Zio Joe would like to tell me about his travels, about his life, his experiences. And one of them that happened a few years ago was just talking about music and musicians, as that was one of his biggest passions. And to me, what I really enjoyed as well is hearing about his traveling. And at one point, we landed on Las Vegas, where he told me he was able to actually see Dean Martin in concert, Frank Sinatra in concert, and also Elvis Presley in concert. And that last one stuck to me as well because he told me that whenever he met Elvis, he had very cool cowboy leather boots on, and which won him a compliment actually from Elvis. So I found that very cool. In conclusion, from dancing, storytelling to playing bocce ball, Zio Joe was someone who had a warm and secure presence. I always felt safe with him, and being around him was a gift and one that I never took for granted either. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Now we'll have Joanne come up and tell us about their love story.
Well, thank you for coming, everybody. I will tell you how I met my husband. I was living in Montreal, and it was about 1979, 1980. And my mother said, Joanne, why don't you come to Fort McMurray? Such a beautiful place, lots of work. You're going to make lots of money. I said, all right. I decided to pack 3 suitcases move in Fort McMurray. I arrived at the airport in the middle of nowhere, in a boony place, and I said, "What the hell? I'm coming here." I couldn't believe the place. And so my mom said, "Anyway, I'm going to find you a job. It's not going to take very long. You're going to come and work for Syncrude and you're going to have a good job." I said, "Okay, fine." So suddenly she calls me, "I got a job for you. You come to up there." It was about 30 kilometers from the city of Fort McMurray. I arrived on the job site, and I used to be from Montreal, always dressed up. And, so I arrived in Fort McMurray with all those guys with jeans and long beard and smelling diesel and all that. Anyway, so I arrived in camp, about 5,000 men, and one trailer for the lady locked into gates, and the rest was all the men. So we're one night sitting at the cafeteria, which it was all table lined up like this along all the way. And those men are sitting there. You're walking in to go to the kitchen, and now they're like this. And I said to myself, "Where am I?" Anyway, I arrived and sit with my mom, and she said, "And who comes and sit with her?" "Joe." So she said, "Here, Joanne, this is Joe. He works here and all that." So I said, "Hi, I'm Italian." And I said, "Oh, really?" And all that. So Joe's working in the mechanic, and he smelled diesel. And I'm not used to diesel. I was used to aftershave that smelled really nice. So that was not my cup of tea, And anyway, so suddenly over a weekend, Joe heard that I'm going to Edmonton. And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to Edmonton, and I'm taking the plane to go there because it takes an hour. You come with me. I have a truck, which you probably see there, the black and white truck. And, I would like to drive with you." And you come. No, I said, 5 hours. I'm not going to go on a truck when I can go on the plane for 1 hour. So I said, forget about that. So anyway, finally I go to Edmonton, and he gives me his phone number. And, I called, and no answer. So I said, forget it, Anyway, finally, we didn't get to see each other on that weekend, and that was it. So he come back to camp, and one of his sons, "So, did you see that French woman there, in Edmonton?" "No," he said, "Joe, you should forget about it. She's a wild goose. You should forget about it." So anyway, Joe, and my mom used to say, "Joanne, I don't know about Joe. He comes and goes. He comes 3 months, then he goes. He must be in the mafia, She said, "He must be in the mafia because, it's 3 months and he's gone." So anyway, I came back to Edmonton, and I left camp, and I decided to work in the city. And suddenly on a Saturday night, in Jasper Avenue in Edmonton, it was a dead city in 1980. It was a closed-in street, and who was there coming in that dead end? Joe, all dressed up with shaved in and everything, suit and all, and he had his Cadillac that you see there over there. And he said, "Oh, hello there." I said, "Oh, what are you doing?" I said, "No, I'm going home." I said, "It's Saturday night, but nothing to do in Edmonton. So would you like to go out?" I said, "Yeah, maybe." He said, "Let's go out." He said, I said, "Take me home and we'll go out." So we went to the restaurant, an Italian restaurant, of course, Cucci Cucci. And then, he was so happy to be sitting with me and be with me. And at the end of the night, the meal, we had some drink, and he got drunk that night. And I said, "Ooh, take it easy." Anyway, so that was the beginning of our life. And every so long, Joe was going to work in different kind of a job, and I used to go work on the same job, or he used to try to get me to work there. And finally, I said, "I don't want to do this kind of work anymore." So I applied to work for Canada Post. But our life began this way, and We've been together after that 44 years. And, unfortunately, when we came to Ontario, after that, I decided after 32 years to be in Alberta. So I want to retire in Ontario, Quebec. So because he's not speaking the language, I said, let's stay in Ontario. We arrived here August 3rd, 2013. Joe was 78 years old, in great shape. He didn't want to retire, but I said, it's time for you to enjoy life. So we came with a big camper, a truck, and a car, and we stay at the Rideau camp in the city. And we were searching for a house, and we found a house in Hawkesbury, the dream home. And I said, okay. So it was about maybe at that time, 12, 13 of August. And I said, let's go to my hometown. She could see me so that we could go visit family. We decided to go there. It was about 23rd of August. And we went and visit friends and family. And unfortunately, Joe fell down the stair on the 26th of August, backward, and broke his head and had a brain injury and never had a chance to retire. And so I became a caregiver for him. And I have no regrets. It was the love of my life. And I would do it in the heartbeat again, And yeah, this is our story. And take care of everybody, each other, and love each other, because life is unpredictable. In a matter of a minute, life turn over. So anyway, I thank you very much for coming and being for me. I love you all. And, okay, where's my poem? Yeah. Tu vas le faire? Okay. No, okay. Tu vas le faire?
Thank you, Joanne, for sharing your story. Joe loved to tell stories. He could strike up a conversation with anyone. He often shared tales of his life, especially the time he first arrived in Canada from Italy, and his experiences working across Western Canada. His stories were full of warmth, humor, and the spirit of adventure. Joe amava raccontare storie, ricevuta la iniziare una conversazione con tutti. Condivideva spesso racconti della sua vita, soprattutto del periodo di quando è arrivato in Canada dall'Italia e delle sue esperienze di lavoro di Canada. Le sue storie erano piene di calore umoristico e spirito d'avventura. As someone who was as lucky to call Joe a dear friend, I know he'd be deeply touched by the love in this room today. Ho avuto il piacere di chiamare Joe un caro amico, so sarebbe profondamente contento oggi dell'amore presente in questa stanza oggi. As we say goodbye to a life well lived, nearly 90 years filled with experiences, stories, and love have felt us all with many memories to carry forward. Though we feel sadness in parting, we are grateful for the time we were given and for the ways Joe lived his life and touched our lives. May you rest in peace, dear Joe. Salutiamo una vita ben vissuta, quasi 90 anni pieni di esperienze, storie e amore che hanno lasciato tanti ricordi da portare avanti. Anche se proviamo tristezza, siamo grati per il tempo che ho stato donato e per il modi di oculata la sua vita ha toccata la nostra. Ripose in pace. Grazie mille alla famiglia e agli amici che sono qui uniti oggi. La vostra presenza è stata come un raggio di luce per Joanne. Joanne would like to express her deepest gratitude to each of you for being here today. Your presence has truly meant a lot. Grazie mille. Thank you, everyone. We would now like to invite everyone to stay and continue celebrating Joe's life with friends, refreshments, and music that brought him such joy and happiness. Before I say to the next part, Joanne, would you like to come and read? I'll read it, okay? The next time so Joanne picked out this poem that she found that she would like to read to Joe. I'll read it on her behalf. The next time that I meet you, we will be at heaven's door. You'll be there to meet me, and I will cry no more. I'll put my arms around you and kiss your lovely face, and then this broken heart of mine will fall back into place. Thank you. Grazie.